Hi, this is Ilma Art Studios photograph for today, and today we are going to, this is a rhinoceros at the zoo. So I don't know if you can see, there's too much reflection. I'm trying my best to make you see it. There you go. So check my website at ilmaarts.com for more of my artworks and photographs. Today I'd like to share with you my poem devotional, which is entitled God Answers, and it is extracted from Isaiah 65 verse 24, which says, I will answer them before they even call to me. While they are still talking about their needs, I will go ahead and answer their prayer. And here is my poem regarding that. Can I just move this a little? Sorry. So, God answers. Pray whenever you have a need. It will be answered when you heed. Call upon the Lord when you are in pain. He will hear your prayers and it will not be in vain. Even before you ask, He knows already what you'll say. He loves you so much and He will always find a way. While you are still requesting in prayer, He already granted and have an answer. How often do you pray? The prophet Daniel is a perfect example of the power of prayer. In chapter 9, verses 4 to 19, he confessed and pleaded to God to forgive the sins of Israel, the whole Israel. He used the word we, even though he has not sinned. Unlike the Pharisees who prayed lifting himself up and putting down other sinners in Luke 18 verse 11, Daniel's heart cried out to God to save his people. He wasn't self-righteous like the Pharisee. He interceded for Israel and believed that God will have mercy, as He has shown the prophet Jeremiah in his visions. So Daniel quoted scriptures and believed it. And true enough, because of that, the whole nation of Israel was saved just because of the power of the prayer of one man. The Bible tells us that God answers prayer while we are still praying. Sometimes we don't hear or see the answers because we don't want the answers, or because we are expecting a different answer. Prayer. Lord, grant me a humble heart that prays always. Reflection. Why do you think God wants us to pray? And here is my testimony regarding the verse that we just talked about. There was a time in my life that I used to pray 3 times a day. And that was just right after I gave birth to my son. And it continued on until he was starting to read at 2 years old. So he had his own Bible. We would have praying from the heart, and we have a Bible study for a very short reading, and then we have singing, worshiping. And I didn't even know anything about Christian ways of doing stuff, but that's what we did. So we did that morning, and then at lunch when he was, we were together, we'll do it at lunch. But we usually, because when he was young, he usually didn't go to school until after lunch. So we did that for until I think he was 7 years old before he went to school. But I still did that even at school. I went to church in the morning before I start school as a teacher, and then at lunchtime I would go to the chapel and have my prayers again, and in the evening before we go to bed. So God took care of everything in my life because I was raising my son alone. I told God that I needed a job that would make me still have enough time for my son, and He actually gave me a job which I didn't even apply for. So this job was given to me through a recommendation of somebody because they needed a drama and a theater teacher, an English speech teacher, and that was my experience. Even if I wasn't educated as a teacher, I had a lot of experience in the theater for 12 years. So they hired me, and my life was, even if I haven't really prayed, as in prayed aloud, I was just thinking of something. But every day I would always be, talking to God in my thoughts, and He would always provide for all that I need. Literally, when there was a time that I didn't have money to buy food or anything, a neighbor would knock on our door and they would literally give us food that is overflowing. So that is how I can attest to the truth that praying is very powerful. And so I invite you to have real time with the Lord, because that in prayer, that is how God is calling us to have a relationship with Him. He knows already what we need, even before we ask. But He still wants us to ask, because in asking is an act of humility, and an act of humility is an act of depending on Him, or dependence on Him, reliance on Him. So that will bring you closer to Him, and He wants you to be close with you. So I invite you to open your heart to the Lord in prayer. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you will check my website at ilmaarts.com. Have a good night. Finally, we have a very nice spring day in Orangeville. It's 20 plus 20 today. After a month and a half of waiting for spring, we finally have a spring weather today. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you will have everything prepared for your Mother's Day celebration, and celebrate your mother, because your mother has done so much for you. God bless.